Alright, now we're going to learn how to do the E-wrap stitch. Okay, so you should already have a loom that you've cast on. In this one I've cast on in the E-wrap. Okay, and we're going to now do an E-wrap stitch. For this you'll need a loom already cast on, you'll need a loom hook, and of course your yarn. Okay, so the E-wrap stitch is pretty much identical to the E-wrap cast on. Okay, so you take your yarn like you were before, behind, in front, back around on peg 1. Okay, behind peg 2, in front of peg 2, and around. And you want to continue doing this all the way around. Now, so I sometimes I knit a little too tight. So you don't want to hold it too tight or you'll have a little trouble knitting over, okay? Sometimes I also use my thumb to hold this one in my place, because if you don't hold them down, they have a tendency sometimes to slip off. And they'll just all unravel, okay? Because you're just wrapping. So once again, behind your peg, come in front of your peg, circle around it, and then move to the next from behind. And continue doing so, just like this, behind, in front, making little cursive baby E's, okay? All the way around. Keep going all the way around until you get back to the anchor peg. So then you want to wrap your working yarn around the anchor peg, right? So push these down a little if you want. Taking your knit hook. Now, instead of starting with the first peg here to knit over, we're going to start on the last peg, and this will hold your yarn so it doesn't slip off. So you want to grab your bottom yarn. This is going to be the stitch that you cast on, alright? And you want to put your hook, your knit hook, through the bottom of it like so, okay? And you want to pull it. Now, see, I knit it a little too tight, so it's going to be a little tight. You want to pull it over the top and let go. And then you can push it down if you want. All right, and you've now created your first stitch. All right, that's your first stitch. And then you want to move to the first one. And you can let go of that. You don't have to hold it anymore. And you can also come from the top if you prefer. It's whatever you like better with using. So we can come through the top. All right, and you can pull over. And if you have knit too tight, this might be a little tricky, but you want to pull over. Okay. And then that one's there. Alright, and you want to continue doing this. Now all loosen kind of up after you get that first one. Alright. I'm going to continue around, coming up from the bottom, taking that loop, putting it over the top, and just letting go. Alright, just like this. Up from the bottom, over the top, letting go. Taking that bottom E-wrap stitch, going up and over. Up and over. Up and over. Alright, until you get back to where you started. And you can push these down because you're going to have to go back around again. Because if you're using the E-wrap stitch all the way around. Alright, so I'm going to push these all down. Sometimes in these looms they have this little like notch here, and they get kind of stuck in there, so you have to really force them down. But once you have them all down, okay, you grab your working yarn again, and you do it all over again. You do another row using the E-wrap stitch, okay, E-wrap knit stitch. So come behind, come over, and come around. Next peg, behind, over, and around, and so on and so forth, all the way around as many rows as your work calls for, your project calls for. Okay? You're working in the round, going round and bind. All the way around. Little cursive E's. So you get back to where you started. And then you anchor off again. Or you can, if you don't want to use the anchor peg, that's fine. You can hold it with your thumb. Sorry. So hold it with your thumb. Grab your knit hook if you can find it. And knit over again. And see, that one didn't go over. Okay. I want it to go all the way over and let go. And push this down. And then do it again. If they're too close like this, you can put your hook in here and separate them so you can find the bottom one. Grab your bottom loop here, your bottom yarn, flip it over the top. Grab your knit hook and flip it over the top. Knit hook, grab the bottom, flip it over, and you want it to go all the way back around. Make sure you flip them over, and then you get every stitch. Take them all the way around until you get all the way back to your anchor peg. Okay? Bottom, up and over. You can do this way too, up and over. Whatever works for you, up and over. And then push them all back down and continue to go around in that fashion however many times that your project calls for or that you feel that you need to do. Okay? And this is what it looks like the farther you go in. Okay, see there? And that is the E-wrap knit stitch. Okay.